Welcome to the Xbox Podcast. My name is Larry Herb, Xbox Live's Major Nelson. We're all here together. We're ready to go. Kind of move my camera a little bit of an angle here to give you guys a different, to allow the real talent to come in here. Jeff, Rebecca, hello.
He said a nice thing about us. I don't even know how to adapt to that because I had like 6 or 7 gigs.
Well, it's great to
go after it.
It's great to see you guys. We were off last week because of the holidays and work schedules, but we're back this week. It's Rebecca's. You're still out in New York, right? You're still over there in the city.
Yeah, I watched the fireworks from Brooklyn, which was pretty exciting.
Yeah, good for you. The 4th of July, Independence Day fireworks. I think did we have fireworks here, Jeff? I don't remember.
No, they were in such a drought that they were just like, no, we're not lighting things on fire. But I saw your pictures and I was pretty jealous.
We are
no more country bumpkin 4th for me.
That's big. That's the big style. I'll tell you. We've got a few things to talk about this week. We've got some news we'll talk about later on. We've got what we're playing. I've got not one, not two, 3 interviews. Rebecca, are you a racing fan?
Not really. I like driving fast, but I don't know about watching someone else drive.
In some places, from there. Yeah, exactly. In some places, that's called racing. Jeff's going to interview. We're going to talk about F1, which is very big in Europe. You're going to learn more about F1 racing, which is kind of those little
from Codemasters, the folks that made Dirt 5 this year. So we know they're very good at what they do. So looking forward to getting into F1, which is out this week. And
then we're going to talk about I'm going to talk about the new Xbox app. And Jeff, we're going to give you many reasons that you should actually update your app. So we talk about that in the interview. So,
okay. Oh God. No, and then, I'm afraid to look at what I'm at right now.
And then, could you show us, by the way? Oh, okay. Yeah, this 85. Is giving me a seizure. Yeah. And then also we're going to wrap it up. We're going to talk to Elgato, which supplies us with microphones and whatnot. They make all sorts of great. You've got one there, the Wave microphone. We're going to talk about some of their new products, including their new camera, which I'm actually using right now. So that's why it actually has a different view. I wanted to change things up for everybody. So those are the interviews we got. Rebecca, tell us what are you playing? What have you been up to?
Well, not to jump ahead to news, but this week we announced the Echoing Void DLC for Minecraft Dungeons. And so it's not out for another couple of weeks, but I took it as kind of my opportunity and reminder to get back into Dungeons. Yeah. I also had never played Dungeons on a Switch before, but we just released cross saves or cross-platform saves.
So you were
testing.
So you were testing.
Yeah, I was testing it out. So it was really easy. First thing, I loaded up my Switch and my character wasn't there and I kind of panicked, but then I realized you have to actually go and push download from one platform to download your hero. And then I went back on my Switch. It was really easy, downloaded my hero, and now I've been jumping back in on Switch. It's fun. It's a set of controls to learn though.
Good tip. Yeah, it's funny because we were talking, I was reading the comments last week on the YouTube because the video goes up on YouTube, and somebody was angry that you were talking about Minecraft on PlayStation. Like, why are you talking about that? And I have to remind you that, first of all, Rebecca, you work on the Minecraft team, on the PR team and comms team, but Minecraft is on everything. So, and you are going to hear about other platforms on this Xbox podcast. I know it says Xbox podcast, but Minecraft's a big game. Yes, Jeff.
I'm afraid to talk about what I've been playing then, but I want to go back because I do have Dungeons on Switch, and sometimes it's just a really good travel game. I love it. So if is there a place to go to find out the steps to bring your character from Xbox or PC over to Switch?
There is Minecraft.net. We have a ton. It's the community site. There's a ton of information. Dungeons has its own page there. But honestly, it was a lot easier than I had expected it would be. You can kind of see Pumbaa's little butt over here.
I was about to say, if you can see him head, go back to that whole page.
I know.
It's a delicious looking hot dog. Oh, Pumbaa's great. I just saw the hot dog.
He's just relaxing. Just leave him alone.
Is that a Nathan's hot dog? We're living the full New York life.
Nathan's famous.
Joey Chestnut came over and you were hanging out and you left a hot dog.
This is all very over my head. I'm sorry.
Live there a few more years and you'll get it. So anyway, so I'm sorry. So I guess the takeaway here, Rebecca, is that if you're playing Dungeons on another device and you want to play it on your Switch as you did, there's a few steps you have to do.
Yeah, basically, like if I had just taken my Switch and left home, then I would have been in trouble,
in a pickle.
But you basically have to download whatever platform you've been playing on, download the character or upload it to the cloud, and then that way you can download it on the new platform. So it's relatively easy. You just have to do some planning beforehand.
All right, well, that's good to know. What else are you playing? You're playing Dungeons on your Switch. What else are you playing?
That's been most of it. I had a friend in town this last weekend, and so we were kind of out and about painting the town red,
Oh, okay.
You've been living your life.
Although it's been raining like crazy. Yeah, but it's been raining so much here, though. Maybe that's my other like new New Yorker thing is I have water damage in my apartment after this last weekend. So...
Well, it's interesting because I was talking to my families on the East Coast, and they're getting like Seattle style continued. It's actually even worse, just the amount of rain. Yeah. It's just like hot and steamy there. So stay dry, I guess, as best you can.
You got fireworks because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair. What are you guys playing?
You know what? I finally finished the first 2 chapters of Sea of Thieves: A Pirate's Life. 100% both of them. So I've been playing them, spending a lot of time in there. I had to play, I think, each of them twice to kind of really get the 100% and complete all the accommodations. So that's what I've been focusing on. I'm going to try for my 3rd one, hopefully this weekend, but I haven't really had any, what else have I been playing? Rain on Your Parade. I'm just looking behind me. Rain on My Parade or Rain on Your Parade. I'm playing that. A little bit of Halo Master Chief Collection because they're always tweaking that and updating it. And there's a specific level in there that I like. I've been testing it on my Backbone using Game Pass streaming. So I've been really having a good time with that. But yeah, I've been spending a lot of time outside. To Jeff's point, it's been dry here. So when you have to make hay when the sun is shining, as it were.
A little old farm adage from Larry. You don't just learn about the games here. You learn about planting season and when you should make the hay.
We'll be doing crop reports on the other podcast. Jeff, what are you playing?
Yeah, of course. So I finished up. I was talking about Scarlet Nexus on our last show a couple of weeks ago. I ended up finishing that, and that was definitely one of my favorite games this year. I got a shout out from the game director, which was really awesome. So then I was looking around. I was watching Twox this week on Xbox last week, and there was a game that looked really interesting to me called Imagine Earth.
And the only reason you watched it is because you did the voiceover for it. I know this.
No, it was when you did it. I did it 2 weeks ago. So I mean, obviously, I watch it when I do it because I want to make sure I'm not going too much, which I completely do. It's a habit. You got to hear yourself do it and stamp it out. So. Imagine Earth. I just did it. Imagine Earth is a really cool game. It's sort of like I've always enjoyed these. I think they call them the 4H. No, is that the farming thing?
4H. We're back at farms.
4X games where they're essentially colonization games, and there's Civilization is like the perfect example of that. And there was definitely some vibes there where you go to these new planets, and they're relatively small, and you build civilizations on there and you trade with the aliens and stuff like that. It looked really interesting because you see the whole planet.
And what do aliens need?
What do aliens need? Gold mostly. They're really not that much.
Because they're going to make weapons to extinguish the human race. So be careful there.
I didn't get that far into the game. So I thought that was a really interesting game. Then I played Space Jam, a new legacy, the game. Yeah. Which is available for free.
How is it?
Just across our platform. Originally, I think on July 1st, it was available as a perk for Xbox Game Pass. Now anyone can get it, whether they're on Game Pass or not. Old school beat 'em up. If you ever played like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, or Streets of Rage or Double Dragon, or something, very much like that, except you're using LeBron. It's a relatively short game. I think I beat it in 35 minutes, but a fun little romp through and some nice. I'm an uncle now, and I think
congratulations. Do you need to take that call?
Do I keep doing the show, or do I see my niece?
You need to go do that. We'll take care of it from here. We're going to disconnect you.
Okay, I'm going to let you do that.
Good luck. Congratulations.
Oh my God. Hey.
Bye.
I'll see you.
I'll just do that. When you're over here, that's the way it works. So I'm gonna have to let me see if I can bring us in here. Anyway, Rebecca, it's gonna be you and I guess, for the rest of the show, which is fine because, well, you know how it is. We're gonna have to do what we can do. So let's How's that better?
No worries. Jeff's off being an uncle. It's all good. Oh, I like that background. That's nice.
Something a little different. But anyway, so yeah, that's Jeff. We heard what Jeff's playing. We heard what you're playing. We thank you for the Minecraft update. It's people in the Minecraft Dungeons update, and there's so many parts of the Minecraft universe. You're so busy over there on Minecraft.
Yeah, I mean, even for Dungeons. So the Echoing Void is our 6th and final DLC for now, but we actually have a lot more that we have planned for Dungeons, so stay tuned. But for now, just get through the DLC while you can. Stay tuned.
We're gonna take a break now. We'll do the interviews since Jeff, we're gonna reset ourselves here. We're gonna do the interviews. We'll start with Jeff. We're gonna talk about F1 and all the greatness that is in the F1 series in this great canoe game from Codemasters.
Historically, Formula One racing has not been nearly as popular in America as it is in Europe, South America, Asia. We've got NASCAR and IndyCar over here, and oh man, those F1 races start pretty early in the morning over here. But things are starting to change. Last year, Formula One was the fastest growing professional sport across social channels like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. That reminds me of where soccer was in this country about 20 years ago. That's when I started watching the Premier League, and playing FIFA really helped deepen that fandom. So if you're one of the growing number of folks here in the US, setting an alarm, waking up early on weekends to watch F1, well, you're probably going to want to play the official game, F1 2021, available now on Xbox. And joining us now is Lee Mather, the Senior Creative Director of the F1 series at Codemasters in the UK. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. Can't wait to talk about it.
All right, well, let's get right into it. Lee, let's start with F1, the sport. It's growing fast here, as I said. What do you think is the most attractive part of F1 racing? What makes it special to you?
Oh, there's so many things that make Formula One a unique motorsport and an exciting motorsport. Obviously, the technology that's involved, it's the absolute pinnacle of technology in automotive these days. But also the drivers are all very exciting characters. There's a lot of very young talent coming through. And then it's such a global sport. It's loved by people all around the world. It goes to multiple countries. So the appeal is incredibly broad.
So you mentioned the racers and how much of a draw they are for F1 fans. Even I know Lewis Hamilton. So how do drivers like him and the other 19 top stars show up in the game?
Yeah, I mean, we go to great lengths to make sure that we represent the sport very accurately. So for the drivers, we turn up at the circuits with a full facial scanning rig. We have a bunch of guys who take a ton of photographs, so into the photogrammetry, but we also have a 3D scanner that we take to the circuits. So they stand there and the drivers sit there with what looks like an iron being moved around their face. But it's great. It means that we can represent them very accurately.
And it's a lot less painful than an iron in your face, which is I think why they probably agreed to do it. So there's a new mode that sounded really interesting to me as an entry point, a story mode called Breaking Point. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Breaking Point is it's a story experience that we've created in F1 2021. So back in 2019, we toyed with the idea and did a short feeder series into Formula 2, and we thought we did a really good job of that, and we did a great job of bringing characters and atmosphere and excitement to it. And we thought, let's take it to the next level. Let's do a full dramatized story in the world of Formula One. And then obviously Netflix came along and did Drive to Survive, and the two just go together really nicely. So as you mentioned, Formula One's growing in success and people loving it more so in America. And I think Drive to Survive has really driven that. And now what people see in the game, that will also really cement that further.
Yeah, you're right. That Netflix series, I've been hearing from some of my friends. So I feel like I'm just on the cusp there. So in sports games, I usually get into like the career mode. And often that's, for me, something of a solo experience. I grind my way through the season and level up my player. But in F1, you can bring a friend along, as you would expect maybe as a teammate, but as a rival. Tell me how that works.
Yeah, we thought that would be a very exciting dynamic. So, as you mentioned, the single-player career is something that this game's been built around for many years now, and it's been incredibly successful, and it's really loved by the fans. But we thought, what better than to experience it with a friend, and then to flip that on its head, why not do it as a rivalry as well? So, as you mentioned, you get the choice of either racing with a friend at a team and taking that team to becoming the Constructors' champion, or alternatively, starting at separate teams and racing to try and become champion. And then alternatively, you might even find yourselves through the contract system actually getting a deal where you actually sign for the same team. So, it really changes the dynamic over the single player experience.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. So last time Codemasters was really high up on our radar here at Xbox was late last year as Dirt 5 launched along the Xbox Series X and Series S. So the team at the time, they pushed the hardware, a very visually strong game. I had a lot of fun with that one. And importantly, they continued to tweak and improve after launch as well, improving the graphics at the 120 frame speed. And anyway, I know you have a very technically strong team over there. What have you been able to do visually and technically with F1 2021 now that you've had those Series X and Series S dev kits for quite a while longer?
Yeah, so something which is obviously new to the series for us, as you mentioned with Dirt, was the 120 FPS mode. So you get the choice on Series X of running either in a graphics mode or in a performance mode. We've also got the fantastically fast load times. I mean, I still can't believe how instantly you press the button and you're there, you're at the circuit. But also visually as well, you'll see the increase in graphics fidelity, the extra floor cover, the extra particle effects. And also on the Series X and S, you'll get the advanced damage model as well. So you'll get to see more damage for the vehicles and the impact, the carbon splintering, but also the advanced tire model as well, advanced tire damage. So all of those things have allowed us to, the extra performance has allowed us to really showcase those areas of the game.
Very cool, Lee. Last thing, I'm thinking of jumping in. I've been watching these videos. My friends have been watching that Netflix series, and so where's this the best place for me to start?
Oh, I mean, definitely. I think the thing that's going to get everybody playing first is going to be jumping to Breaking Point. Breaking Point's a really great way to learn about the sport, to also get excited by the characters and behind the scenes in the world of Formula One. And also, it's a nicely balanced experience, so you can choose to play it from a casual perspective and make it much easier. You can make it a more challenging on-track experience, or you can obviously turn the difficulty up and make it a far more challenging experience. So I think that's a great entry point to the series for anybody who's really new to Formula One and wants to see what it's all about.
Sounds perfect. That's where I'm going to start, and I can start that today as F1 2021, the official video game, is out now on Xbox. Thanks so much, Lee.
One of the many ways that gamers stay connected is, of course, with their mobile device. Michael Kalilian is with me. Michael, you handle and work on the Xbox app, which a lot of people find on their mobile devices. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks for having me on.
Got to tell you, I'm excited to talk to you because you guys are constantly working on the app and making it better. Tell us about some of the things that we've got in the app now and that you're working on that people are going to see very soon.
Yeah, so as you know, we relaunched this app last year in September, really in preparation for the Xbox Series X and the Series X.
Yep.
And we really did that because we wanted users to have this brand new modern experience to fit in with their new devices at Xbox. If you think about some of the features that we launched with, Remote Play was really the big net new feature that we invested in last year, which really fits into the vision of Xbox of being able to play anywhere you are. And so with Remote Play, users can be at the mall, turn on their console remotely and directly play FIFA from the mall. So we thought that was a really cool kind of net new feature to launch the Xbox app with. And then from there, we've really just listened to user feedback. We've been monitoring our socials.
And my socials.
Yeah, I know we all get pinged a lot about new features in the Xbox app. But since then, we've really been trying to listen to our users, listen to our players, and add and iterate from the launch of the Xbox app.
It's interesting because you talked about this Remote Play, which is, you can see my console right behind me. You talked about maybe people streaming to the mall or maybe wherever they are. But I know people that use it just to frankly stream to their bedroom. Right? If it's in the TV room, they want to stream it across to the other side of the house. And that enables them to do that. And it gives them the full access to their library and everything else there. So that's really great. But there's so many people use the app now. And a lot of people may forget that you can also do your console setup through the app, right? Which is instead of having to type everything in with a virtual keyboard on the console, we've all got the soft keyboards on our mobile devices. It really helps the setup as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was one of the big things that we invested in as well last year. So in the unboxing of your Xbox, you can now set it up directly through the app, which is a more modern, magical experience. It's sort of what users expect, when they're setting up a new app, is to be able to set it up through their mobile device.
Right.
Sometimes app updates and console updates take a long time, right, when you unbox them, and so this way you can kind of turn it on, set it up, and go do something else.
Yeah,
while the app is up.
you're having a great dual screen experience, because while it's getting its download and its updates, you're going through and signing in, kind of setting your options so that the moment that this thing's ready to go, assuming you've used the Xbox app, you're really ready to go and start playing a game.
One of the cool features of the setup experience is pre-install. So in the app, before your console is even done setting up, you can choose the games and the apps that you want to be on your console right when your console starts. And so you don't have this, my console is now updated, now I have to install FIFA, which is just a much better experience.
Some of the other things we've got is, of course, we're sitting here, we're playing games on our beautiful screens in our living rooms or where have you. But you can also a lot of people use the Xbox app, which is available in all your finer app stores, to share game clips and screenshots and the chats and achievements and notifications. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I mean, you really have to have this app if you really want to maximize your Xbox experience, don't you?
Yeah, when we think of the app, we think of three distinct areas that the app has value. The first one is what we just mentioned, right? It's discover and play. So if you open Xbox app right now, you'll see sort of a Netflix-like experience with channels of game recommendations. You can see what your what your friends are playing. You can see what the most popular games on Xbox is. And you can really go straight from discovering a new game to playing that game directly on the phone. So that's really the first pillar. The second one is all about social. And so we know the most popular features of this app is Xbox messaging. It's Xbox party chat. It's keeping up with their friends, maybe when they're not already at their console. And so we see Xbox messaging being used a lot for users setting up a play session. Maybe you're sitting on your couch, you're laying in your bed. You want to know if your friend's online. So you can open the app, check to see if your friend's online. You see they're playing Fortnite. You send them a message. Hey, I'm going to be on in 10.
And away you go.
Right. And so social and just the social utility of being able to keep up with your friends when you're not at your console is one of the kind of the core user scenarios of the app.
Yeah, I mean, just staying connected. That's really what it's all about. And your team really brings everything together again into the app so that you can have it not only when you're sitting on your couch or in your bed when you're playing your game, but wherever you are, you're staying connected so that you can really, and I know that I've done this, I've been out in my car and I see people playing a game. I'm like, oh, I want to join that party. And I've actually had party conversations on my Bluetooth headset in my car. And it's great because I can hear what they're doing and I still feel connected to the audience. And that's really exciting.
Yeah, we see, some users want to use their AirPods for party chat. And that's something the app can let you do, right? And just speaking to that interconnected piece, kind of the third area of how we think about the app is really as a companion to your console. And so if you open the app right now, you can see your entire collection of games. You can see which games are installed on which consoles. If you want to install a new game, you can free up space on that console. And then you can turn on your console remotely and actually remotely control your console from the app itself, which we know is a pretty cool feature because things like typing on a console could be harder than typing on a keyboard.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. That's what we talked about that a moment ago, how easy it is. Your team is looking forward. I mean, can you kind of give us a clue? I mean, you mentioned earlier before we got started, there's an update coming this month for the Xbox app. Tell us a little bit about that update and what you guys are planning maybe for later this year.
Yeah, so July, we have our July update coming in a few weeks now. As you know, achievements was one of the really big fan requested features that we add back to the app. So we're super happy to deliver that in the last few months. And so now we have achievements, we have leaderboards in the app. In July, we're going to add compare and filter and sort to the achievement experience.
Awesome.
So now you can compare your achievements with your friends. In addition to being able to look at your leaderboard to see who has the most gamer score that month, we added new filter and sort options just to give you more options to be able to sort the achievements. We know some achievements and some users have hundreds of thousands of achievements. So you can now sort it by most rare, most common, locked, unlocked, things like that. So yeah, that'll be out in our July update in the next few weeks here. If you have the app, it should just update automatically. If you don't have the app, you can just search Xbox in any app store and find it.
Yeah, it's funny because Jeff, who's on the show with me, he and I have this ongoing thing about he's one of those people that never updates his apps. You know, who sits there with the big like 37 apps to be updated badge on his store. And I'm like, dude, update it. You have to update your app. That's the way you're going to get some of these cool features that Michael's talking about. So, pro tip: update your apps.
I mean, just speaking to that, we launched this app 8 months ago. We've done 7 updates since then.
Wow.
So almost every single month we've had an app update, and most of those updates are direct feature requests that we see from fans on Reddit, on Twitter, through the app feedback. And so updating the app and really getting that iterative value that we're adding is super important.
And you're not just putting like bug fixes in the notes. You're actually putting real release notes in the app, because you're not one of those people, are you?
Almost. I don't think we've had one app release that was just bug fixes.
Right.
Every app release, because we know, it's more storage. It takes time for users to have to get that app update. And so we want to make sure
the update button. Come on, Michael. It's not that hard.
We want to make sure to add at least some value every month. And so whether that's something like custom gamer picks, adding custom images back into messaging, even the ability to have the favorite friend online notification, which was a huge fan requested feature. They want to know when their friends come online. Yeah. And so you now have the option to get a push notification when your friend starts playing Fortnite.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome too. Now, so that update will be out later this month, and as you said, you've been updating pretty much almost every month. What can you give us a little clue what you're planning down the line? I mean, I don't want you to commit to any specific features, but what are some ideas that you guys are thinking of?
Yeah, so some app users might have already seen last month in June, we launched what we're calling game stories. So we launched that as an experiment. That means some users have the experience right now and some users don't have the experience. And we did that because we want to test it out, get user feedback, and really fine tune it before we release it to the entire audience. So we launched that in June. And Game Stories really is our first foray into giving users new ways to interact with content on Xbox. And so now when you open the app, you can see those developer posts from Fortnite, from Minecraft, from FIFA, from Red Dead Redemption, and interact with that in a really mobile-friendly way. We know stories, Instagram, TikTok. These are the ways that users interact with content nowadays. And it makes sense, right? Because they're very touch-friendly. They're mobile-focused.
Yep.
And we
always have our phone with us, too. Wherever we are, we always have our phone with us.
And so for the Xbox app, we really want to snap to existing industry patterns. We don't want to create something totally net new that's separate from what users are already using on mobile and how they interact with content. So it's really cool. Right now, you can kind of tap through developer updates. You can comment on it. You can reply to other users' comments. You can like comments. You can share those posts with your friends in Xbox messaging. And this is really the net new experience our team has been working on for the past couple of months here. Super excited about the future. This is just step one. So we're really invested in the stories UX. In the future, we're really looking to see how.
Hold on, Michael. You said UX. A lot of people may not know what that is. Explain UX.
Yeah. So UX is just the user interface. When we think about. So UI is really user interface, but UX is how a user interacts with that
experience, the user experience kind of thing, right?
Right. And so, Game Stories is really just step one for us. We see in the future lighting up new ways for users to be able to express themselves on Xbox. So right now, one of the big things that the app is missing is the ability to share and customize your activity. And so that's something that we see as a huge opportunity. We see users asking us for it. How do I share my activity with my friends? How do I know what my friends are up to on Xbox? How do I customize my activity? So maybe you record this really cool game clip. How do you edit that on mobile, customize it, add GIFs to it,
right?
Add text to it. A lot of cool stuff we're working on that we're excited to get out for our users.
I know that it's all the great features. I'm testing an internal version right now, and there's some really cool stuff you guys have added in there. I can't really say too much more, but I'm really, really excited. Now, if you want to get all those new features, as Michael said, you got to update your app. Okay, you got to keep going. You got to hit that update button, right, Michael?
Yeah, and if if you're on Xbox right now and you don't have the app, just open up the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, Amazon Store, and just search Xbox. Super easy to find, and we think it adds a lot of value to our players.
Yeah, I think people really enjoy that. So Michael Clilly and your team works on the amazing Xbox app, as you just said, available in all the finer app stores out there. Appreciate your time today. Let's get you on in the future. We'll talk more about the Xbox app when you guys are, maybe in a few months when you have some more features out there.
Yeah, I mean, we have a whole team dedicated to this experience now. We're more dedicated to mobile than ever. So I expect we'll have some exciting new experiences in the future to come back and talk about.
Well, on behalf of gamers everywhere, I want to thank you and your team for really, really making this one of the greatest mobile experiences, a great mobile companion to the console. So thank you very much, Michael.
Thanks, Larry.
Big week for Elgato. A lot of new products coming out. Miguel Lozado, who's the senior partnership manager over there at Elgato. Miguel, always good to talk to you. Great to see you, my friend.
Great to see you. Long time no see. Ready to see you in person pretty soon, hopefully.
Yeah,
crossed.
We usually run into each other at PAX, and you're like, hey, come here, show me some cool products. So now we get to do it for fans and together. You guys had a pretty big week this week. Earlier this week, you announced some new products, and I wanted to get you on to talk about that. Let's kind of go through it.
Just a little bit of stuff. A few products. We're always striving to make things better for creators, for everybody. We want to give you guys production type quality at a consumer rate, and that's our goal. We just want to help everybody create cool stuff. So.
Yeah, and you guys have done that. So you've got a few products, and I'm actually using one of them right now. So we're using a bunch of them right now. But let's talk about where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the camera, or where do you want to go here, my friend?
Let's go camera. We'll start camera. I think that's what everybody wants to hear about, right? The camera,
which I am using right now, and you're using it as well. Let's talk about it.
We're both using. So brand new camera. We're really excited about this. It's been a few years in the making. 1080, 60 frames a second, no mic, because really who's using a mic on the webcam at this point? They don't sound good. We're really excited for it. We made this with all type of creators in mind, anything from professionals to content creators to teachers to educators to anybody. And the sensor is something we're really excited about. But with all our products is the special sauce, and special sauce is always our software. Yeah. So our software is probably one of the most customizable. So many options. You can do ISO. You could do picture exposure. You can.
Here's a shot of it right here, actually.
Yep. Right. So zooming, field of view, contrast, saturation, exposure. Right there, you see the ISO. It's an active response. Giving you the actual ISO live versus like just taking a few seconds to analyze it. So as you brighten yourself, dim yourself, you're going to see that value change. Yep. Shutter speed, compensation, everything. We try to give you guys as much control as possible. And the button you see right there that says save, you can save the settings to the camera directly, which I believe is the first. But so you can save it and you can take it somewhere and it'll have all your settings saved.
That's pretty amazing. So, and you can see it's USB-C in the back here. That's pretty cool, Miguel, because you kind of tweak it and dial it. And then what I love about it is, I have it set up. I'm using it right now, and I kind of pushed it through there. And then when I change, like I have a different computer, a different Windows 10 computer, like when I'm doing my Teams calls, all the settings are just right there, and I don't have to worry about what's going on here, my field of view and all that stuff. But a lot of those features that you talked about in the software, those are really cool because it's kind of like a DSLR, right? In fact, here's the Mac. I think this is the Windows version. We're showing the Mac version a moment ago because it's available on both platforms.
Yep. So both platforms, yes, kind of sort of inspired by DSLR, right? So, sure. We want to give you guys as much control. This is, the basics. Will we see new upgrades? Probably software-wise. That's something Elgato is known for, is our post-product support for all of our products. Stream Deck is probably, one of the most upgraded products I've ever seen. Always getting updates, plugins, integrations of new products, everything like that. So that's kind of sort of what we hang our chip on, I guess.
When you look at the face cam, and again, you guys are kind enough to send me one, so I'm using it here. I mean, the picture quality, it's really that beautiful glass and this massive sensor that you have in the back there to give it this really crisp image. I mean, it's really and it's 1080p 60. It's stunning.
1080p 60, 8 lenses. We dedicated a lot of time. The team, the engineers, they worked tirelessly. You guys have no idea. We're really, really, really lucky to have everybody that worked on this. We wanted something great for you guys as creators, as broadcasters, as educators, whatever the case may be. And finally, we were able to present something and give you guys something of that quality.
So that's kind of cool. And when will that be available? And how do they grab one? And what's the price?
So it's available now.
Yep.
$199.99.
You can go to Elgato.com, check it out for your region, right? If you're in different regions, it will be different pricing and different retailers and how you can get it, but Elgato.com and available now.
Yeah. So that's one thing. Now, we talked about the fact that it doesn't have a microphone on board because everybody, let's be clear, if you're doing a good stream or you're doing Zoom or Teams calls all day, you don't want to have that microphone way back in the nobody, you just shut it off anyway, and it's just nonsense when you're going to choose your sound. You don't choose it anyway, right? So you have this great Wave microphone line. You've got the Wave 1 and the Wave 3 that I'm using the Wave 3 here. But now, and I'm as an audio nerd, I'm really excited about this next thing. Tell us about this next Wave product that you guys have.
So we have 3, but I think you're talking about the XLR.
Yeah.
Right here is our audio interface, really. It's a lot of fans love the Wavelink software when they saw it, but they already committed or already purchased XLR. So we wanted to bring a way for XLR users to use Wavelink. So Wavelink XLR, pretty cool things about this product. The knob kind of sort of works the same way as the knob does on the Wave 3. Yep. You can change, you press, it changes what you're changing, between headphones, gain, and PC mic mix. But another cool thing is the faceplate's actually customizable, so is the knob. So we did that within Mind. It also should power all mics out there. We've tested a lot of mics. You shouldn't need phantom power. You shouldn't need anything like that. It should have enough, oomph for it. And right there in the back, you see the captive mute that everybody loves on the Wave 3. Yep. It's here. It'll be on the Wave XLR. So if you press it, it'll mute your Wave XLR immediately without any sounds or buttons or anything needed. So.
And I got to tell you, I'm so excited about this because I know that I'm not the normal person because I collect microphones and all my microphones are XLR, which is kind of, for those of you who don't know, it's this. Let me see. Let me get my microphone. It's over there. It's the standard for most non-USB microphones. Let's be clear. So the fact that I can have my some of my high-end microphones and you can see it in the back there, I could just plug it in. And obviously, I'll plug my headphones in and get access to this huge dial. And the other part of it, you talked about the face cam with the software. The Wave software is very cool because you have a lot of neat things you can do in there with the low pass filters and things like that. So there's some secret sauce in your software as well that you can use with your new microphone or with your new mixer.
Clipguard being one of the most important ones, I think, for a lot of people. Clipping is a big audio issue. So, buying this gives you access to Wavelink, which also gives you access to Clipguard. And then the channels, right? You can have a music channel. You can have a systems channel. You can have different channels. You can control what you hear and what your audience hears by balance too immediately. And it changes on the fly. One of the coolest audio products that we've come out with software wise, obviously in our first, but we're really, really happy with it. And again, you'll probably see some upgrades too as the future unfolds for Wave.
Yeah, one of the neat features that you upgraded just for the Wave software for the current Wave microphones is the fact that you can lock the settings so that your software doesn't override it elsewhere. And I noticed in the latest update, I got that, and I was like, that's great because you never know. You're like, oh, I set this thing, and then who knows? Mysteriously, something decides to change it. And you never go back and look at it because why would you go back and look at it? Because you set it already, but you go back and it's changed.
Yeah, so a lot of programs have their own gain or what they want your mic to be at, or they have their own auto detect. So it messes around with it a lot. So we decided, okay, can't control everybody else, but we can't control what the program does. So we can control what they control on our hardware on our end. So yeah.
Wave XLR. And when's that going to be available? What's the price point on that?
Available now at $149.99.
All right. Now, next up, you've got your microphone. I've got my great XLR mic. What am I going to do? I need something to put it on. I mean, I've got mine on this old mic stand here, but you guys have announced not one, but 2 microphone arms, right? Let's talk about those. I mean, this probably it sounds like, oh, that's boring, but yeah, this is a critical part of your kit.
This is actually the most exciting for me personally. My gripe have always been, this is a high-end one. We added this nice little pole that you see here that makes it available to go over like your monitor. So that's how I have mine set up. When I use it for like a camera, I actually use it for like a camera arm for unboxings, but it goes over my monitor easier with that pole. This one also comes with a weight. So if your mic or whatever you're using is too light and needs more weight, we have a weight changer right there. Yep. And 360 movement, with the ball mount. Really, really, really clean cord management, right? That's something we want to bring to everybody, is super clean cord management. So this one will be $9.99. So with the next one, we're probably going to see here shortly. But both mic arms, this is my favorite. This is my personal favorite because I've always wanted a affordable, low profile mic arm. Right. And this is it. This is a low profile mic arm. I actually have mine, coming in from behind my monitor because my monitor is high enough to clear it. And yeah, I mean, I love this thing. This thing is made my life so much easier. I can type underneath it. Like you have your arm coming out right here. I've always, or even like the high end, right? The high ones, they come like this. And me personally, I've always not liked that, right? Like I'm just like, why? And yeah, this low one, I think just takes the attention away from anything else and puts you in focus, gives your mic like front and center as well, in a way where it doesn't really take away from you or your content. And we're super excited about that.
And you can swing it out of the way. The other thing I really like, and I want to just take a look at this shot again. This, for those of you that are been around Elgato and Elgato fans for a while, something very subtle here. And this is the fact that it's the same connection on all your other parts. So I've got this arm here that I use for my lighting. I took it down. That's why I'm different lit today. But I wanted to show that it's this little device right here, which is so universal and so great because you can put it on any angle. You guys brought that right over to your new set of arms. So you can use, as you said, use the arm for a microphone, for a camera. I mean, it's expensive, but you could use it for a light. I mean, there's all sorts of things you could use it for, right?
Yeah. So we want to make everything work together, friendly. Yeah. If you wanted to put a key light on the low profile mic arm for some reason, yeah, you could, sure. Maybe for photography, having a light so close to a product or something or to your shot. But it's all a big system. We want everybody, if you buy into Elgato, it's all going to work together. It's all going to, you're not going to have to buy a new connector or worry about this or that. It's all going to work the same, and you're going to be familiar with it too. So user experience as well. So that's really important to us too.
All right. The final product that we're going to talk about today it's kind of an interesting, it's a Stream Deck, but it's a little bit different. So tell us what's different about this Stream Deck. So we've seen Stream Decks for years.
Stream Deck, man, 2017, time has flown. This thing has seen so many software upgrades, right? So we thought, hey, maybe it's time to give the actual hardware a little bit of upgrades. It's still the Stream Deck you love and know, just some quality of life stuff. The dock is the same dock that now the XLR has had. So it's not the little dock base that we did before. And then as well as the connector. But there's also just a little bit of Elgato-ness in it, right? So faceplates come off. What does that mean? Yeah. You can customize your faceplates, So not only now can you customize the icons, you can customize the faceplates. You can express yourself. You can do a full theme setup for the industry, for gaming. Obviously kits with Halo or Gears of War themed, that's now easily done. We were able to do those before. Took a little bit more manufacturing and more hard work, but now we brought it to everybody. And hopefully the plan is in the future, people will be able to make their own. But right now we just have a whole bunch of static custom ones that people can make. Awesome. Well, listen, this has been, you guys, it's always great to chat with you, but it's so cool, good to see you and some of the great stuff that you and the team at Elgato's doing. It's just great stuff. And if you're just starting out and you're streaming or you're doing some content creation, this is the stuff that you really need to look at, because you're like, well, I want to upgrade my mic experience. I want to upgrade my lighting or my live switching experience, or now,
your camera. I mean, that's some great stuff there. So, Miguel, I want to thank you for your time. I know people can find you on social. I'll throw your handle up here underneath here. And how do they find you? I'll just shout it out for those people that are listening, just the audio version.
Twitter at mlozada.com, MLOZADA. I'm a big Twitter guy, so you can always reach me there, ask me questions, always available.
Yeah.
But thank you, Larry, for having me on. We're super excited. Glad to have the products in your hands too and get your feedback, and looking forward to everybody else's feedback as well.
All right. Thank you to our interview guest this week. Since Jeff is off busy being a new uncle, I will take us through the headlines.
All right. And I'll join you as well.
Just woke up.
Yeah, Pumbaa just woke up because Jeff's gone. I can do this. We got a couple of news things before we wrap up the show. We wanted to make sure these are not all. It's not all the Xbox news, but see, these are some of the big things everyone was talking about this week. So what do you got there, Rebecca?
Yeah, so first, not really news, but something kind of interesting. We released a music video to celebrate Xbox All Access set to All for One's I Swear.
I swear. Well, it's funny. Exactly. when we released this, I talked about this. I made this. I don't know if I shared this on social, but Rebecca, I used to work in radio, and I was working in radio when this song
came. You have the right voice for it.
Yeah, thank you. I worked in radio when this song came out in 1994. So I remember, I don't remember what record company it was, but they came and I helped promote this record. And I think I did a show with them at this place called Lake Compounds up in Connecticut, like in Bristol. And it was so funny when the team released this thing, because you got to go watch. Go to news.xbox.com, because it's the actual band. It's All for One doing a remix of, or a reversion of, I Swear, to some It's All There for Xbox All Access. Do you remember the song?
I actually do remember the song. I am not that young. I remember the song. I can't sing it aside from the moon and the stars and the sky.
I swear. Right? If we had Jeff here, we'd be able to harmonize because he's got such a great voice. But yeah, I mean, there's something about a good smooth R&B lick, and that's what this is. So I'm really go check the video out when you can. So that's out. That came out while we were away. What else you got there?
Yeah, and then like I mentioned, Echoing Void. Gosh, now I'm going to catch myself saying since Jeff pointed out the thing. We released. We announced Echoing Void, which is the 6th and final DLC for now for Minecraft Dungeons, coming July 28th. We also are going to be releasing an Ultimate Edition for the game. So if you're kind of new to Minecraft Dungeons, or if you just bought the base game, you want to catch up on all the different DLCs, you can get the Ultimate Edition, and it's kind of the all-inclusive. It is all there. Package.
All there. It's all there.
And then every time we release a DLC for Minecraft Dungeons, we also release a free game update too. So this one's is called the Gauntlet of Gales, and it's a maze. I've heard it's very confusing, but it looks like fun. So you'll have to check that out July 28th, so a couple more weeks. Okay. There's also some new settings to the Xbox Family Settings app, which I didn't know a lot about, but it's actually really cool. And this is something that I'm going to kind of keep in my back pocket as, someone who works on Minecraft. There are a lot of different settings that I think if parents knew that they had the option to, it would make them feel a lot more comfortable about their kids playing online. Like there's the option to approve like multiplayer access, which we released just like a couple months ago. But for the new settings we're introducing, there's the ability to add money to someone's account. So if your kid got, straight A's, you can give them like $20 to spend through the Family Settings app.
But only if they got straight A's. But only if they got straight A's.
Only. Okay. Yes. I know. I got, I think I got $20 per A, which was actually pretty good.
Wow. Now question. Was it $20 for A? Like, did you get like 15 for a B, or was it 20 or nothing?
It was 20 or nothing.
That's I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But also in the Family Settings app, you can see their spending history, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
And then, so there's a lot of good stuff to check out there. And then also this week, MLB The Show 21 having the All-Star Content Extravaganza. So
I forgot about that. That's right.
I'm not a big baseball person, but I think there's a lot in there to check out. So
you have wait. If you're in New York, you need to go to a Yankees game or a Mets game. You got to do that for me.
I've been told that I'm supposed to cheer for the Mets and not the Yankees.
Well, I'm not going to say that you should or shouldn't. You decide what you want to do. But I'm saying you should at least experience both of those fabulous parks.
Right.
So
I would love to. I mean, I do kind of want to root for the Yankees. I don't know. I remain undecided about which baseball team.
Don't torch her in the YouTube comments, please. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, maybe that was a mistake. And then Jeff met with the team from Codemasters, but F1 2021 released this week. So if you want to check it out, we have a bunch of tips on Xbox Wire for making the most out of your digital driving experience.
Yes.
And then a couple more things. Civilization 6, the anthology whole bundle. Which
are you a Civ fan?
Previously released content.
Are you a Civ fan?
I'm not.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that are, and I know E used to be on the show. He still plays Civ to this day. He's still going at it. So it's great. It's such a great game.
Yeah. No, I understand the value. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it that makes me think that it's a lot of a time sink. But then I guess I also played the crap out of Skyrim. So
yeah, you could say that about any game, Rebecca. You could say that about any game or any hobby, to be honest with you.
Yep. And then last, we have UFC 4 arriving on EA Play, which is included for all Xbox
Game Pass
Ultimate members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
So go into UFC 4, break a leg, or if you're Conor McGregor, try not to break your other one.
Yeah, exactly. Be careful. I didn't realize you were a UFC. I didn't realize you were a UFC fan.
Yeah, I mostly go to the parties for the unhealthy snacks, and but no, I like UFC. I like fighting. Yeah, it's all good.
That's all.
I just like any sports. So yeah.
Are you going to go out to the U.S. Open out in Flushing in August, late August, early September? Tennis?
Probably not. I take it back. I guess not all sports are my thing. I like.
Please don't torture in the comments, all you tennis fanboys.
Sorry. No, I like playing tennis. I haven't been able to get into watching it
as a spectator.
But then kind of the opposite. Yeah, but then the opposite with fighting. Like I like watching fighting, but I'm content to just watch.
well, at the very least, I need you to go to a New York baseball game and enjoy that.
Yes.
So, but because
I think that's.
You've been to a Mariners game out here in Seattle, right?
List.
Yeah, I think you've been to a Mariners game, right? Yeah, so it's a lovely experience. So. Yeah. Anyway, so thank you for covering the news since Jeff is off being a new uncle. Congratulations to Jeff. So that's always fun to do. So
congrats to Jeff's family.
Yeah, congrats to Jeff's family. I don't know who. I'll find out who had the little one, but congratulations to him. Anyway, well, we're gonna wrap it up because we had a bunch of long interviews for you to enjoy, and now that we're just down to Rebecca and I, we don't want to keep staring at each other. And you've got work to do. I've got work to do. You've got to get back to the.
I need to take this dog out for a walk.
You need to take the dog out, and I always respect the dog. So, well, you'll join us next week. We'll be back in force all next week, hopefully. It's been the summer's a little crazy with schedules and getting outside and taking dogs for a walk. So, thank you for joining us. Remember, if you like and subscribe and do all that stuff at YouTube, drop a note in the comments. Don't torch Rebecca, please. But you can follow me on Twitter at Major Nelson, and Rebecca's one of the 10 people I follow, so you can just go find her as well. Are you getting a lot of noise from you in your Twitter stream from me following you?
It's not too bad. I need to use Twitter more often. I'm more of a lurker than a tweeter myself, but
right.
It's all good.
That's fair. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Rebecca, thanks. Stay cool and stay dry out there, I should say, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.